Hello, my name is Megan Gray, and welcome to yoga. Today we're going to do a gentle flow, but maybe with a little bit of challenge in our balance work today. I've been thinking a lot about the spring equinox was just here 2 days ago, and this is the time where our sunlight and darkness are in perfect balance that day. The amount of light and dark is equal. And then with each day after that, the amount of sunlight that we're getting is expanding. And the amount of darkness we're getting is shrinking. And I think this is where I'm at right now. Can we expand our light? Can I grow my sunshine? Can I fill my life with more light? So that's my idea, my thoughts on today's practice is to grow. What seeds are we planting, and what light are we bringing those seedlings that are in our life right now? So we're going to start our practice today on our back, finding a position that feels good, maybe a restorative bridge, with our feet open wide on the mat and our knees together, and letting our hands rest on the floor. Closing our eyes, just coming into our breath. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Inhaling all the good. And as we exhale, letting go of our expectations, our judgments, being content in the here and now. Letting go of competition between ourselves and our bodies on the mats and any other time. And just noticing how we feel. Tapping into our breath. Sending breath deep into the belly, and then into the lungs and out through the nose. And maybe starting to move our neck slightly in one direction, coming back to center. And then moving it in the other direction. Just becoming aware of any tightness in our neck, in our upper back. Coming back to center and then doing the same with our knees. Just moving slightly, gently side to side. Giving ourselves a little twist as we windshield wiper our knees. Opening up our back, twisting just a little bit. And then extending our arms out to the sides and bringing our feet sole to sole, opening our knees, finding a supine butterfly, and taking a moment to think about spring and the seedlings that we're planting. What things do we want to bring in and grow in our lives right now? And as we inhale, bringing our knees and our hands together. Exhaling as we expand and open. As we expand our lungs and fill with as much air as possible, giving our seedlings oxygen. And this time coming in, leaving our hands up, bringing our knees into our chest, and then just wrapping our arms around our shins, giving ourselves a hug, and rocking side to side. Coming back to center, making small circles with our knees. And then switching direction. Planting our feet under our knees, tucking our pelvis, and beginning to inhale, rolling up into bridge. Exhaling as we come back down, one vertebrae at a time. Flowing our energy up and releasing our stress as we come back down. And maybe picturing even a plant or a fern that's unwinding as it reaches for sunlight. What does it feel like to open up new leaves, new branches, new parts of us in this time right now? Taking one more flow up and down into our bridge. Connecting back to earth and bringing our knees back into our chest, giving ourselves a hug one more time, relieving any tension that's in our spine. And then gently making our way onto our side and working our way up onto our hands and knees with our hands under our shoulders and our knees under our hips, finding a flat back and making starfish palms, opening up and spreading our fingers. And imagining maybe we're on a lawn. Can we feel the grass underneath us? And then moving a little bit to our side and then forward and to our other side and back. Feeling our body shift its weight. With one breath, making one full circle as we inhale, coming around. As we exhale, close the circle. And then switching directions, inhaling in the opposite direction. Coming back to center and moving through some cow and cat breaths. Inhaling as we arch our back, lifting the crown of our head up to the light. Exhaling as we tuck the pelvis around our spine. Finding the place in our spine where we can do some growth. Can we open our lungs and our heart a little bit more? Can we expand our back, our low back, our mid back? Can we find some growth here, some transition? Taking one more breath through cow and one more breath through cat. Finding our flat back and then exhaling as we press our hips back to our feet, finding child's pose. And either letting our arms rest long or bringing our hands by our feet and setting an intention for the thing that we want to plant right now. And then setting a second intention for the light that we're going to bring this seed, this idea, this new concept we want to grow in our lives. Taking one more breath here. And then inhale as we stretch our arms out in front of us and shifting into a kneeling plank, bringing our shoulders over our hands, our hips low. Exhaling as we gently come down to earth. Inhaling as we press the top of the head up. We can even lift our hands. Exhaling as we press the hips back to the feet. then moving through these 4 poses, kneeling plank as we inhale, exhaling down to earth, inhaling as we press up into a cobra or maybe a baby cobra, and exhaling as we bring our hips back to our feet in child's pose. Taking one more flow through these 4 poses, moving with our breath. And as we come back to child's pose, tucking our toes under our feet, pressing our hips back, and preparing to move into downward facing dog, pressing our heels to the floor, lifting our knees and our hips up, finding length and pedaling at our feet. Flexing and pointing the heels. And then walking our feet into our hands, softening our knees, pressing our hips back, circle sweep our arms around as we come up into mountain. Exhaling, bringing our hands by our hips, rolling our shoulders away back and down, closing our eyes, and taking a moment to just ground ourselves. Feel the earth beneath our feet. Imagine the sun shining on our head, feeling that warmth radiate throughout the body. Taking one more breath here, and then opening up along the long edge of our mat, turning our toes towards the corners of the mat. Nice wide stance, inhaling as we reach up to the sky, 5-pointed star. Exhaling as we come down into moonflowers. Inhaling up, exhaling down, building some heat, warming up our body, warming up our soul. Taking one more breath here. And then the next time we come down, hinging at the hips, placing hands on thighs as we come into sunflower. Inhaling back up. Maybe imagining our whole body as a sunflower. We're closed at night and then we're opening up in the daytime. Giving our body a chance to build some heat and warmth. And coming back, stepping to the top of our mat, coming back into mountain. With our feet hip distance apart, our toes and knees pointed forward. And taking our body into a flowing chair, inhaling up, exhaling as we sit down, reaching forward, pulling in with our belly. Inhaling back up, and exhaling down. And taking whatever arms feel good, maybe coming into heart center as we exhale down. Or maybe adding a circle. Whatever feels true and good in our body today. Honoring that movement. Taking one more flow into chair. Exhaling as we come down into our Tadasana, into mountain. And taking our first sun salutation. So feeling free to practice whatever variation of sun salutation is in our practice, but today I'm going to do a modified one. Inhaling as we come up to the sky. Exhaling as we hinge, forward, forward fold. And then stepping back with our right knee, planting the knee on the floor, releasing the foot. Inhaling as we come into a kneeling lunge. Exhaling as we come down to earth, bringing our left foot back and bringing our hips back, child's pose. Inhaling as we come into our kneeling plank. Shoulders over hands, hips low in alignment with our shoulders and knees. Exhaling as we lower down and hover, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhaling as we press up dog. Feeling that extension through the spine. Exhaling as we come back, hips over feet. Inhaling as we step in with our right foot behind our right hand. Finding our lunge on our next breath in. Inhaling up. Exhaling down, tucking the left toes as we step in with the left foot. Hands on our shins, halfway up. Exhale down, soften our knees, circle sweep the arms up. Exhaling into a chair. Inhaling back up. This time stepping back with our left foot, planting the knee on the floor, releasing the foot, inhaling up into our lunge. Exhaling down, bringing the right foot back. Pressing hips back into child's pose. Inhaling as we come into kneeling plank. Exhaling as we hover, elbows right by our waist. Inhaling as we press up. And then exhaling back. This time bringing our left foot forward. Coming into our kneeling lunge. Exhaling down, tucking our right toe. Stepping in with the right foot, coming halfway up. Soften the knees, circle sweep our arms up. Finishing in chair. And then coming back into mountain. Placing our hands on our heart, closing our eyes. Can we feel our heart beat on our chest? That energy that's coming out from this amazing organ that keeps us alive. Can we take that energy and spread it outward? Can we share it with the world? Can we grow our hearts and make it shine? Taking a big breath in. Exhaling as we step back with the right foot, finding our warrior one. Opening up the hips, bringing our shoulders forward. And we're going to flow our arms today. Inhaling, coming to heart center. Taking an exhale here. Inhaling back up. And working our proprioception, we're going to lean to the right, come back up, and then lean to the left. Little bit of balance. Like a small flower that's trying to follow the sunlight throughout the daytime. Coming back up straight to the sky, and as we exhale, fanning out the arms, turning our left foot, finding our warrior two, gazing over our right arm. Opening up the lungs and the heart. Turning our thumbs toward the ceiling, taking a big breath in, reaching our left hand to our right hand, inhaling as we pull back, exhaling as we release. Imagining we have a bow and arrow, and here's our chance to get rid of our worries. As we exhale, letting them go, taking a big breath in, let it out. Taking one more breath here. Turning back into our warrior two, feeling that openness in our lungs and our heart. And as we inhale, hinging forward, bringing our right hand toward our thigh, our left hand overhead, and either letting that hand rest or opening up, or we could put our hand on a block, finding side angle. Noticing what's working, where we have heat in our body. Breathing deeply, taking one more breath, inhaling as we unhinge, keeping our feet the same, bringing our right hand overhead and our left hand behind us, either letting it rest on the thigh or behind the mid-back as we Find reverse warrior. Maybe close our eyes. Imagine the sun beating down on our face, warming our body. How does that feel? Can we smell all of the flowers that are blooming? Exhaling as we unwind back into our warrior two. Lifting our left heel and stepping back into mountain. Taking some lateral flexion, inhaling as we reach our right hand up, left hand down. Exhaling as we bring that elbow down. Inhaling as we switch sides, flowing side to side. Feeling that stretch through the side body. Taking one more flow on either side. And then stepping back with our left foot, opening up into our warrior one on this side. Inhaling up, exhaling as we sink our left knee over our foot. And finding our same sway, side to side, left to right. Feeling our balance come into play to help support us. Taking one more breath on either side. And then coming back to center. Inhaling and then exhale, open up the arms, turning to the left. Right foot perpendicular to the left, finding our warrior two, opening our heart. Turning our thumbs to the sky and finding our bow and arrow. Taking a breath in as we reach forward and exhaling as we pull back and release. Letting go of the things that we cannot control. Taking one more breath here. Turning our palms back down, finding that warrior two. Taking a big breath in. Exhaling as we hinge into our side angle, either letting our left elbow rest on our thigh or opening up. Expanding our heart and our lungs. Can we open and roll our shoulder back a little bit further and open through there? Creating a little more space. Taking one more breath here. As we exhale, unhinging back into our warrior two and coming all the way through. Right hand down, left hand up, finding that reverse warrior. Letting our left hand stay above us and our right behind us or below us on the back of the right thigh. Maybe closing our eyes. Taking one more breath here. Exhaling as we unhinge, finding our warrior two. Lifting our right heel and stepping back into our mountain. Rolling our shoulders away back and down. Inhaling as we reach our hands up, turn our thumbs down. Exhaling as we interlace our fingers and open up our chest, open up our hearts. Soften through our knees, and we can either stay here. If we feel this is a good lung expansion chest opener, staying right here. If we want to try something else, hinging forward, resting our upper body on our thigh, and then bringing our hands overhead. Whichever one makes our heart and lungs and chest feel more open. Taking one more breath here. Exhaling as we hinge back to upright. Release the hands. And just come back into mountain. Turn our palms forward. Close our eyes. Shifting our weight into our left foot. or setting up for warrior three. If you have a block or maybe even a piece of furniture that you want to use nearby, you can put that in front of you. If you want just a little extra balance, it's entirely optional. We're going to hinge forward. So let's start by bringing our feet together. So feet are touching, inner thighs are touching. Taking a breath in and pulling in with our belly button. Exhaling as we hinge forward, finding a flat back. And bringing our hands out to the side for airplane or behind us. So we're pulling in with the belly, holding here. Finding our airplane. Feeling that work in our core and shifting our weight into the front of the foot. Feeling that little lift off our heels so all our weight is forward. Taking a breath here. Exhaling as we bring our hands down either to the floor or to our block or to our piece of furniture. And then softening our knees just slightly, still pulling in with our belly. We're still flat in the belly. Inhaling as we lift our right leg behind us with our heel up and our toe down. And maybe our warrior three stays right here. Maybe we can reach one arm up or both arms up. Finding any variation that feels good. So finding that part of warrior three where we feel that balance. Taking one more breath here. Keeping our leg up as we inhale, we're going to rotate our hip, turning the inside of our foot parallel to the floor, and then opening up our arm to the ceiling as we find balancing half moon. And working through our balance. And when we're fully there and we're ready, we can turn our head this way as well. Finding a nice long arm. Inhaling as we come back down. Softening the knees, taking a big circle sweep up into mountain. Exhaling as we come into chair. Taking one more breath in. And this time either coming into chair or taking the option of lifting our heels and coming to balancing chair. Working our balance today. Taking one more breath in. Exhaling as we set the heels down, inhaling up. And then as we exhale, hinging forward again. Finding our airplane on the opposite side. Finding that flat back, gluing our feet together. Hands behind us or hands to the side. Whichever variation feels good. Shifting our weight forward. Can we lift our heels just for a moment? And then moving our hands down to the block or to the floor. Softening our knees just slightly and sliding our left foot behind us. Inhaling as we lift the left heel, toes pointed down. Maybe here's our warrior three today, or we can add one or both arms as we come into warrior three. Using our breath. Taking one more breath here, and then as we inhale, opening up the hip, turning our foot parallel to the floor, and then opening up our arms, finding our balancing half moon. Table sliding away from me. Taking one more breath here. As we exhale, rotating back down. Setting the foot down, softening the knees, circle sweeping up into mountain. And exhaling as we come into a chair. Inhaling as we come back up. Taking one more breath, exhaling as we hinge forward. Softening the knees and finding our flat back. Inhaling as we arch through cow. Exhaling as we round through cat. Taking one more breath here and then tucking our toes. We're setting ourselves up for plank. Inhaling as we press our heels back and finding a nice long plank. We have lots of options. Either a full plank on our toes or a half plank on our knees. Or if we're dealing with any shoulder issues, we could always come onto our elbows and find our plank there as well. Any variation of plank that feels good in the body today. Feeling that heat. Noticing where we're working the most, sending our energy there. Taking one more breath, softening the knees, release the toes, and exhale as we press the hips back, finding our child's pose. And then walking our hands back underneath us. We're going to bring our weight all the way up into our knees so we're nice and tall. Inhaling as we make fists with our hands and bring them around to the outside of the hips. Opening up our elbows behind us and relaxing the shoulders, taking a breath in. Expanding backward as we come into a modified camel. And if we feel like you can't talk, then the neck has gone a little bit too far. So finding that space where we can still be back, arch through the spine. Closing our eyes maybe. Imagining our heart is radiating out, sending out our love, shining our light in its most open, vulnerable position. Inhaling as we come back to upright. Exhaling as we press the hips back. Bring our hands up and then drop our elbows and forehead, finding a down puppy. So our hips are over our knees, our elbows on the floor. Taking a breath here. And as we inhale and bringing our right hand underneath us, palm to the sky, threading it through our armpit and setting our right cheek on the floor. Inhaling as we bring that right arm back underneath us and bring the left arm underneath, setting the left cheek down, threading the needle on this side. Inhaling as we unwind back to center and working our way onto our belly, walking our legs out long, bringing our elbows under our shoulders and inhaling as we arch the spine, pressing the head upward and pushing down with the palms of the hands as we come into Sphinx. Coco's here. She says, hello. I want to do Sphinx. Taking one more breath. Exhaling as we release back down. Open our elbows. Stack our hands and set one cheek down, lifting our heels up, flexing our feet, and then gently letting our feet windshield wiper side to side, releasing any tension that's in our spine. Coming back to center, extending the feet back out and either returning to Sphinx or with the option of bringing our hands by our hips with our pinky up to the sky as we inhale, lifting both our feet and our head as we find locust. Feeling that arch in the spine. And if this doesn't feel good on the back, we have that option to come back to Sphinx. So toes down on Sphinx, toes up on locust. Taking one more breath here. Exhaling as we come down, stacking our hands again, setting our opposite cheek down, and bringing our heels up once more. Finding a windshield wiper with our feet. And then releasing the feet, sliding the hands underneath us, and pressing the hips all the way back. We're going to open our knees wide and bring our toes together as we come into a wide knee child's pose. We have lots of options for this. We could keep our arms out. We could make fists and stack them underneath our forehead, or we could bring our hands to our feet, letting our forehead connect to the floor, playing around with this, and finding whichever one feels better today. Which one lets us restore and refresh the most? Finding that place and breathing into this space. In child's pose, our bodies were like a little seed. We're planting these ideas so that we can grow into them and grow on with them as the spring continues and as the sun shines on our seedling. Taking one more breath here. Releasing our hands and gently moving our way onto our back. Setting up for boat pose. Removing the fleshy area out from underneath our hips and then lifting our feet up parallel to the floor, pulling in with the belly, long spine, either supporting our hands behind our thighs or reaching out to the side or flexing the toes, finding length there. Any variation of both that feels good today. Taking one more breath. Exhaling as we bring our heels down. Inhaling as we grab our shins, lengthen our spine up tall. Reaching up to the sky and then rounding the back as we exhale. Releasing that tension. Walking ourselves down onto our back once again and bringing our feet underneath our knees. Walking as close as we can, keeping the hip distance between our feet and our knees, and finding one final bridge, tucking our pelvis, inhaling as we roll up the heat, roll up our hips, closing our eyes, feeling the heat in our body, in our quads, and our glutes, and our hamstrings. And if holding it for too long isn't feeling good on the body, we always can flow down to the floor as we exhale and inhale, bring it back up. Finding a version of the bridge that feels good in our body today. Taking one more breath here. Exhaling as we come down, vertebrae by vertebrae. And once we're down, bringing our knees into our chest, grabbing the backs of our thighs, flexing our feet to the ceiling and finding dead bug, and rocking side to side. If this feels good and our hips can stay flat, we can always reach outside at the feet and grab the outsides of the feet, finding happy baby. Or if we have a lot of flexion ability, we can extend our legs out and find a big toe hold and rock side to side, whichever one feels the most restoring. The best on our spine. And releasing our knees, bringing our feet together, and then grabbing the tops of our shins, making circles away from each other and toward each other as we massage out the low back. And then switching directions. Coming back to center and then gently lowering the feet, one foot and the other to the floor. Extending our arms out in a T and extending our left leg long. Keeping our right knee up. Moving toward a spinal twist, pushing down with the right foot, inhaling as we bring the hip up. Keeping our shoulders down and looking back to our right hand. And we could stay here or we could reach with the left hand to the thigh. Inhaling as we come back to center, readjust our hips, extend our left leg long and bring our left knee in, pressing down with the left foot, pushing down, inhaling as we reach the left hip up and over, and looking back over to the left hand, finding that twist in our spine. Inhaling as we rotate back to center. Readjust our hips. And if we need to, give ourselves one more hug and readjust our back. Give ourselves a little circle with the knees. And then finding any pose that feels good for final relaxation. We have lots of choices. We could bring our feet sole to sole and let our knees open wide into a supine butterfly. We can open our feet along the edges of the mat and let the knees come together for a restorative bridge. Or we could come into Shavasana, opening, extending our legs, letting our toes rest towards the corners of the mat. Anything that's feeling good on our body today. While we're resting, I have my crystal bowl. I'm going to go grab it and be right back. So this is a quartz crystal bowl that has morganite melted into it. And the idea is that the vibration is very healing. So as we are in our final relaxation, just closing our eyes and seeing if we can feel this vibration even through all of the different wires and cables that are coming at us to get this virtual workout. Seeing if we can just relax and rest into this, arriving here fully and being present and letting every part of our body vibrate, feeling the energy as a rest so that we can renew and recharge our internal batteries so that we can shine forth. Gently bringing awareness back into our fingers and our toes. Maybe making some small movements. Taking a breath here and releasing, surrender. And when we're ready, gently rolling onto one side. Taking a couple breaths here on this side. And when we're ready, pressing ourselves up, coming into an easy seated position. Stacking our vertebrae tall. Inhaling as we reach our hands out to the sides and all the way up overhead. Scooping up all of the light and bringing it into our heart, coming to our heart center. The light in me loves and honors the light in you. Namaste. Thank you for sharing your practice with me. I hope you have a wonderful day. Go forth and share your light. Shine bright, friends.